record the meeting, and I'd like to go ahead and welcome everyone to Healthier Hampton Roads update meeting. We are real pleased and excited to be able to provide an update on Healthier Hampton Roads. My name is Tom Chamberlain. I'm the CEO and founder of EdLogix. I'll be the primary presenter today and moderator of this initiative. I would like to mention that we're recording the program, and we're going to be sending out a recording to everyone that was invited to this. As we were just saying, lots of people have a lot of conflicts going on, but a recording of the program will be sent out. We are also, the ability to chat is on the bottom right-hand side of your screen when you sign in. So if you have questions during this, please put those in there. And if we don't have time to answer questions at the end, we're going to go ahead and answer all those questions and send those out along with the recording of the program. And again, everyone's going to be placed in mute mode because of the background noise that often occurs when you're doing a program like this. We had a meeting, as most of the people online probably attended, on Friday, June 21st, which was the Hampton Roads Health Literacy Community Leadership Forum. And that was the kickoff of what we're trying to do in Healthier Hampton Roads. Many of you probably saw the Inside ODU press release that went out, where ODU hosts the Healthier Hampton Roads Forum to address economic challenges. And it talked about how we brought leaders together from across Hampton Roads and looked at ways to globally change health literacy. And the health literacy, I don't want to spend a lot of time on that. We've got a lot of information on that, and I'll just touch on that through our healthierhamptonroads.org site that I'm going to pull up in a few minutes. But we've done a lot since we've had this meeting, and we getting a little bit of background, so I'm not sure where that's coming from, but if anyone has that, okay, great. The activities has been very significant. We've made a lot of progress with Healthier Hampton Roads. We want to share that with the group. One of the things that we have done is we've created an advisory board, the Healthier Hampton Roads Advisory Board, that includes Governor Tommy Thompson, who was unable to be with us today. He wanted to be on, but he had a conflict. But it also includes some of the speakers today: Jim Spoor, Bonnie Van Lunen, the Dean of the College of Health Sciences, Nancy Gurdon, is going to be speaking. I'll introduce her more formally. Jordan Asher, who's the Senior Vice President, Chief Physician Executive at Centera Healthcare, is on our advisory board, as is Dr. Cynthia Burwell. I'll talk a little bit about what Dr. Burwell is doing with us. Amanda Jackson and Stephanie Gorham. Amanda's the Library Director at Chesapeake Library Systems and the Chesapeake Public Library, and Stephanie Gorham is the Executive Director of the Volunteer Hampton Roads. Both Amanda and Stephanie are going to briefly provide some comments on their role in Healthier Hampton Roads. We're real excited to have their organizations working with us. Les Hall, who's the founder and president, he spoke at the forum. His company was the first company to go on board with the EdLogix platform. He's also a Centera board member. Russ Turner, who is a friend of EdLogix, and he's the CEO of TST Construction, and myself. And we're probably going to expand that a little bit. We've got a lot of interest from others to come on the platform or to come on board as an advisor. So this is a group that's going to be critical to the success of Healthier Hampton Roads. I'm just going to pull up the healthierhamptonroads.org site for a minute. Many of you have probably seen this, but this is a site that is, it provides a lot of information. It talks about the program being a multi-stakeholder community-based program. I'll come back to this in a little bit. It talks about being a new model to improve health literacy in the citizens of Hampton Roads, and the benefits of improving workforce productivity and establishing Hampton Roads as a rising hub of healthcare innovation. We'll talk about how we're planning to make Hampton Roads one of the most health literate regions and have other MSAs around the nation and want to emulate what we're doing here. And we'll talk about how we're going to do that. But from a community access standpoint, with the support of our sponsors and partners and philanthropists, we're going to provide a very innovative digital platform to everyone in the Hampton Roads region, free of charge, sponsored by various organizations, foundations, philanthropists, and we'll talk a little bit about that. And we have a number of partners that are going to be involved, and I'm going to spend some time going through that. Before I jump on back to the PowerPoint, I would like to take a minute and just pull up the Health Literacy Forum. And if you haven't looked at it, I'd encourage you. There's a video of the entire event. You can download the presentation. You can see photographs of the individuals. And in this, it also talks about Rewards for Healthy Living. And Rewards for Healthy Living is the consumer-facing site that's going to be launched in Hampton Roads. We're talking about doing this in the fall, but there's been a lot of good feedback from individuals, including some of our advisors, about launching this in January after the holidays, with a lot of activity over the holidays. But as the new year launches, we're probably going to go ahead and launch rewardsforhealthyliving.com throughout the community. And I'll spend a little bit more time on what this platform is and how it can be used. And I'll spend a few minutes bringing up the platform and demoing that. But we're real excited, and I encourage people to go on Rewards for Healthy Living and learn a little bit more about what we're doing. The actual platform itself, and let me just jump to the next. We had the vision for Healthier Hampton Roads shared by Tommy Thompson during our program. And it's a fairly long vision, and I'd like to break it down into a few different segments and talk about that. And the first part that I've highlighted is that our vision is a multi-stakeholder, integrated, community-based program that bridges the work site and the community. And the work site obviously is critically important. Most of the citizens of Hampton Roads are employed in Hampton Roads through companies, of large companies, small companies, and those employers need healthier, productive, very healthy, productive employees to really be successful as an organization. So we have corporations that are currently using the platform. I mentioned All First was the first. It's a small company, an industrial engineering company that is headed up by Les Hall, but he was the pilot program for us 5 years ago, and he's been on the platform for 4 years. Town Bank has been using the platform for 3 years. We just signed up the Port of Virginia, which I announced at the forum on the 21st. They go live on early November. And then we have an outreach going on with many of the other employers in the region. We have meetings this week at Centera Healthcare. I've been talking to the Longshoremen Union, Russ Turner's company, TST, Turner Strategic Technologies. And then we have our relationship with the Hampton Roads Chamber and the Peninsula Chamber, who are doing introductions to many of their members, smaller and larger companies. Huntington Ingalls, for example, would be I've had some preliminary discussions with them. Ferguson on the peninsula. So we have people on the peninsula, in Virginia Beach and Norfolk, and in the surrounding areas. So our excitement about the growth of the employer market is critical, and those employers come on board and they pay for the platform because they get their own data, they have their own incentives, and they have their own ability to communicate with their employees. They could push their employees just into the community initiative, and I'd like to talk a little bit about the community organization. So the municipalities themselves are critical. The municipalities, like City of Virginia Beach is the largest city in the state. Them as an employer is a great opportunity for them to come on, but there's also the public health departments and many other economic development groups within the municipalities. And then we have a whole list of community-based organizations that we've been working with, including the United Way of Southampton Roads, and we have discussions going on with Luciano and the YMCA of Southampton Roads, the Community Foundation of Hampton Roads. We've had some brief discussions with them. We're looking to get the Boys and Girls Club of Southeast Virginia and many faith-based organizations we've had discussions with. I'm speaking to the Health Ministries church groups later on in this month, and we've been having discussions with the Tidewater Ministers Conference. So those faith-based organizations are critical to the success of making the platform and Healthier Hampton Roads known to their individuals that represent these various groups, whether it be at the YMCA when they check in, or at the Boys and Girls Club, the American Heart Association, the American Cancer Society. We've been working with them as well. So, and then you'll have all of the groups throughout the region, Healthy Suffolk, Healthy Chesapeake, Healthy Norfolk. Those organizations are looking for opportunities to improve the health of their cities. And hopefully we can have regional alignment and we can have some synergies across all those different organizations. The Hampton Roads Library Network is a real exciting opportunity for us. The Deputy City Manager of the City of Chesapeake reached out to Amanda Jackson to give me a call and learn a little bit more about Healthier Hampton Roads and how they might be able to play a role. And also the Volunteer Hampton Roads organization, Stephanie Gorham. We had a recent meeting with them, and when they heard about what we're doing and we understood the assets that they have in their organization, we knew it was a natural fit for us to be working together. And I'd like to just go ahead and ask Amanda Jackson just to say a few words about her interest from a Hampton Roads Library Network perspective. Amanda, you can give a little bit of background and talk a little bit about some of the things we're looking to do. And after you're done, I'm going to turn it over to Stephanie Gorham. Amanda?
Sure. Thank you. Yes, as Tom mentioned, Dr. Bailey, the Deputy City Manager for Chesapeake, sent me a link to the Community Leadership Forum video. And so I watched that, and so often you kept referencing health literacy, and obviously that had my ears perking up from a library standpoint. What I really like about the Hampton Roads area is that we have a consortium of public libraries that reach, all the way up to Williamsburg and all the way down here to Chesapeake, and we communicate on a monthly basis to try to figure out how we can partner and how we can work together, because libraries feel we are stronger with all of our partners. And because this is a place, libraries are a natural place that people go to get information about a variety of subjects, especially health literacy. If someone's diagnosed with a disease, one of the first places they're going to reach out is their library to find out what material is out there and to arm themselves with as much information as possible. And because we receive funding from our tax base, it behooves us to have the most educated, the most empowered, the most successful community that we can have. And we have a lot of really great databases and e-resources that you can access from your home. One of the things we're excited about here in Chesapeake is just this year, we released that all of the students in the city of Chesapeake through the Chesapeake Public School System now have automatic access to all of our e-resources through their classroom. So we can tie people directly to that literacy, that health information that you're trying to get them access to. And as you have that directed focus that Tom has talked to me about, what you're going to focus on this month, that information that you're trying to push out, it's a natural fit because the community from all facets comes into their public libraries. It's connected that way. So we shared that information with our consortium, and they were all really, really excited about the possibility.
Excellent. Yeah, we're real excited. The opportunity to have a bricks and mortar distribution network throughout the community. I think there's 50 libraries or so in Hampton Roads throughout the entire network. And I'm going to be speaking on November 1st, I believe, Amanda, to the whole library network, right?
Correct.
So we're excited. You'll hear more about that, but that's I think that's a press release opportunity to talk about how the library network is playing a role throughout the community to help improve health literacy. And there's opportunities that you'll learn more about with Old Dominion University and their library sciences program, and in combination potentially with public health. And Nancy Gurdon may even speak about that. Stephanie Gorham, I'm going to turn the program over to you. You have a great organization, and we're really excited to be working closely with you. So Stephanie, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Tom. I really appreciate you inviting me to join this conversation today. A little bit about Volunteer Hampton Roads. We have a program called Volunteer Vision, where we recruit regional individuals for volunteer opportunities based on their skill set. And we have them build out a profile, just asking them what they're interested in, their expertise, and any other volunteer opportunities that they've been involved in or what they would like to be involved in. On the flip side, we work with the community to find volunteer opportunities for those individuals to serve the community. However, we have very limited in the medical professional field. So when we had our conversation about Healthier Hampton Roads, my ears also perked up because there is a very untapped group of skilled professionals out there that would be so happy to volunteer and be part of this. So I just look forward to seeing how we can assist with this initiative and hopefully help out with it.
Yeah, no, that's the work you're doing, Stephanie. And I might add, if you wouldn't mind just mentioning what happened after the horrific shooting in Virginia Beach, how you were able to mobilize certified mental health counselors.
Yes, so we did an all-call for volunteers. I think within just a couple of days, we had 1,000 volunteers just in response to the Virginia Beach shooting to help with counseling, therapy dogs, just the whole gamut. It ended up that we had about 140 out of that 1,000 that were credentialed and could actually serve. So that was still an amazing number for us because we hadn't done something like that before. So I would really like to challenge our system and see how else we could help the community with that in a non-tragic way.
No doubt. Yeah, no, that was impressive, that many people. And we're going to talk a little bit about how we think we can mobilize that group of mental health counselors and some of the other healthcare professionals to help throughout the community be building an advocacy network of individuals that can provide resources to those people in need. We also, on the community-based partners, are doing a lot of work with the economic development groups. Groups like Jim Sports Group, the Reinvent Hampton Roads organization, terrific organization that's right in the center of everything that's going on in Hampton Roads. And we're fortunate to have Jim so actively involved in Healthier Hampton Roads, and you're going to hear from him in a few minutes. The Hampton Roads Workforce Council with Sean Avery and the Economic Development Alliance in Hampton Roads, as well as a number of the Rotary organizations. We're speaking at Rotary organizations. I just spoke to the Norfolk Rotary, the Suffolk Rotary. Bob McKenna and the Chamber of Commerce on the Peninsula is lining me up with 7 different Rotary organizations there. Those are economic development groups with very influential people that are members. So we think there's huge opportunity. And Go Virginia, even with Tom Franz and what Go Virginia is doing, trying to link the corridor of Richmond and Hampton Roads. I think if Hampton Roads can really do the kind of things we know it can do, it would be a great opportunity to actually bring some of our solutions throughout the state of Virginia, Northern Virginia, Richmond, and elsewhere. The healthcare systems and providers, we're doing, I mentioned Centera Healthcare, but we have plans to reach out to all of the major players, Riverside, Bon Secours, Chesapeake Regional. We've had discussions with some of them already, CHKD, the mental health initiative that's going on that Johnny Lawson just ground broke today, that Jim Spohr was talking about earlier. And then physician groups, Cornerstone Wellness, Bayview Physicians Group. And then the health center, the Hampton Roads Community Health Center. We had a great meeting with them. We've had discussions with the Tidewater Free Clinic. These are organizations that can really provide access to individuals that are in need to improve health literacy and help them improve their health outcomes. And lastly is academic institutions, both universities as well as public and private schools. You can't really be successful in a community without involving the local universities. And our excitement of Old Dominion University, but it goes beyond Old Dominion University. Eastern Virginia Medical School has a commitment to getting into the community, and the Norfolk State University, the College of William and Mary, Virginia Wesleyan University, and Tidewater Community College all play a role in this community, and we're going to be working with all of them. We're doing some things with Norfolk State, but the public schools as well. It's we think that health literacy begins with children, and we also own Rewards for Healthy Teens. We eventually will get into the K through 12, the middle schools, but right now we're talking to Nansemond Suffolk Academy, Cape Henry Collegiate. We've had discussions with to build a model that could be used in these private schools in the freshmen through seniors and even using it as a 1 credit hour, using the platform with challenges and educating these kids on a number of topics. Cyberbullying, depression, suicide is running rampant in younger populations. So we think that there's a tremendous opportunity to reach the young kids, and those kids can bring this access home to their parents, because it really is family-based intervention that's going to really make a difference in improving health literacy and health outcomes and reducing healthcare costs for everyone. But I'd like to kind of spend a little bit of time or give Nancy Gurdon, who is the just got promoted, and congratulations, Nancy, with Chip Filer going over to be the city manager in Norfolk. Nancy is the new interim associate vice president and the executive director of the Strom Entrepreneurial Center Institute for Innovation and Entrepreneurship. And Nancy has been a big partner of ours, as has Bonnie Van Luden, the dean of the College of Health Sciences. President Broderick has been very supportive, as have a number of other people. But I'm going to go ahead and turn the program over to Nancy and talk a little bit about some of the things that are going on at ODU and how they're playing a key role in the community with us.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Tom. I appreciate the opportunity to be on the webinar today and to represent Old Dominion University. As Tom said, and maybe just to even reinforce, we were certainly a proud sponsor of the Health Literacy Forum on our campus earlier this year. It was really a pretty interesting organization because we literally had representatives from a number of different advocates, participants in the ecosystem that relate to healthcare and economic development, and it really spoke to the need for why we have healthier Hampton Roads and where it can go. So as far as Old Dominion goes, I think the exciting thing about being a public university in our region is we play a major role here from an economic development standpoint, as well as our mission of education. And so I'd like to just mention a couple of initiatives that we have that directly relate to healthier Hampton Roads and how not only our university but others can participate. So the first one I'd like to call out is a brand new initiative. It was just announced by President Broderick at the State of the University in August, and it's basically something called the Economic Development Catalyst Task Force. And the whole idea, it's a brand new group. In fact, we're having our first meeting this week. Is a group of leaders from the community, as well as some of the key leaders at Old Dominion. And what we're going to look at is ways that Old Dominion can play a much bigger role in 2 key areas that relate to the region's economic development. The first is around what we do. We do as a living, if you will, which is train and develop talent. However, there are some particular areas that are in high demand or in high technology. And so how can we expedite not only the training, but the placement and the identification of skills as a university? And the second big area relates to the role that commercialization, entrepreneurship plays in terms of creating not only economic value, but jobs and other activities in our region. And both of these really have a very strong link to the quality of health, health literacy, and health indicators in a region. They are part of a regional brand and ecosystem. They relate to the quality of the workforce, they relate to workforce participation, and they relate to inclusivity. So it's a very, very strong connection between that activity as well as what's happening with healthier Hampton Roads. And we certainly want to speak to that as the task force moves ahead over the next several months. Aside from that external activity, really the major partners here at Old Dominion are, as Tom mentioned, our College of Health Sciences. Dr. Bonnie Van Luden is the dean of our college, and we are really playing a major role, in the college in particular, in terms of being a health literacy champion. We're going to be doing that for a center that we currently have, the Center for Global Health, which looks at not only international global issues, but also local issues here in our region as it relates to population health, healthcare disparities, and healthcare literacy. So they will be taking the lead from the service and content side. And I'm happy to say that we've also been piloting a version of the platform on our campus for ODU students. So I don't really have any results to report as yet. We should have those later in the semester. But part of what we wanted to pilot was how to really engage students. And of course, ODU has students of what I call traditional student age, but we also have those re-entering the workforce, veterans, and others. And so the idea was if we could gather some very important data on how important education, literacy, and data can be, particularly in an informative and fun setting, can really make a difference in terms of healthcare utility and usage, that would be valuable. So we will have some data on that, hopefully by the end of the fall, and we would certainly be happy to share that with the ecosystem as well as other universities. And then a couple of other things I'll say very quickly that relate again to Healthier Hampton Roads. In our College of Arts and Letters, we've recently started a game studies and library science programs, which are very exciting. But the game studies is brand new, actually, where we have a minor training students who want to use these various tools in a number of settings, as well as our library science program, which has really taken on much more of a strong digital training role, not only here locally, but across the Commonwealth. And then we continue to really leverage the role of internships and partnerships with our student placements. Again, these are just a couple of the centers, the College of Business and the Center for Cybersecurity, but certainly the health colleges, Health Sciences College and others are very strong in terms of internship placement. And then two other things quickly, we are using our modeling and simulation center, VMask, to really look at how data analysis can be done in the healthcare setting and as a partner with Healthier Hampton Roads. And then, as previously announced, we are very excited here at ODU to be part of the Virginia Higher Education Opioid Consortium. This is an extremely important initiative that was really going to look at not only prevention and solutions to this crisis, but how can we actually look at policy changes, programmatic changes, and other kinds of interventions that can really make a difference. So the net picture here is that ODU, being a regional player, really is happy and a sponsor and a partner in Healthier Hampton Roads, and hopefully looks forward to including other universities as well as being part of the organization.
Yeah, thank you so much, Nancy. You guys, we couldn't be doing this without you and your team and Bonnie Van Moonen, who's on the call. But some of the exciting things that are happening that involve ODU and us and others, there's so much opportunity to really make a big difference and branch beyond the walls of the university into the community that, as Nancy said, creating high-paying jobs through this, the internships, some of the activities that we're going to be doing, even the library sciences with Amanda Jackson has some great ideas. So I appreciate you taking a few minutes, Nancy, to go through some of those. Absolutely. And we'll talk a little bit about the opioids as well, but thanks again. Really good stuff. The other part of the vision for Healthier Hampton Roads is connecting Hampton Roads through an interactive digital health platform. And that platform, you know, as I mentioned earlier, is Rewards for Healthy Living. The AdLogix platform is a very engaging game-based platform that incorporates very unique learning strategies. And this is a platform that we've been using, as I mentioned, for 5 years in the employer setting. And as Nancy said, at ODU, we're also using it at Miami University in Ohio with their students, because universities are really on a move to get much more than just academics, very smart kids, but we want, strong mental health, physical health, psychological health. And these types of programs and digital platforms can really help round out that student experience. And what can you do on the AdLogix platform is, and we talked a little bit about this at the forum, but we have a daily engagement strategy where they come in and answer daily scratch cards. I'll show you a little bit of the platform in a minute, but playing games, watching videos, quizzing, we're tracking all the clicks. So we're getting tremendous market research that is not shared with anyone. It's not sold. It's used for data-driven personalization. So the more we know about the individual, the more targeted we can be in our education. And gamification is a key part of that, getting a GPA, climbing up the leaderboard, winning cash prizes. And in the Rewards for Healthy Living, we're looking at getting local companies providing gift certificates for restaurants, for hotels. A weekend stay, at the Cavalier Hotel is something we would like to do. Various, cars that could be out there with partners in the community. So we're looking at a number of different ways to incentivize individuals. There's got to be a what's in it for them, even though it's fun and engaging and we stimulate dopamine by interacting with the platform. There's got to be rewards and incentives to get the people in Hampton Roads on the platform. And we talked about launching this in early January. That's probably going to be our target launch. We're toying with later on this year, but I think we're going to do it right and set that up. And then the last part is the providing a vehicle for increasing awareness, communication, education, engagement, and behavior change. There's a lot of things there, but we have to make people aware of health issues, how to navigate the healthcare system. Educating them, requires that they get engaged. They come on the platform. So once we get them there, we can educate them and really have a shot at communicating important information and then ultimately changing their behavior. And I'd like to take a few minutes just to kind of talk a little bit about the platform, quickly pull up the platform and show you some of the results that we're getting. But this is a screenshot that was published in Community Health Magazine in Pittsburgh. We have 20,000 employees at the Allegheny School Health Insurance Consortium. But you can see where they're publishing information and have testimonials from some of their individuals. But it's an exciting way to entertain people, reward them, and educate them at the same time by playing games. And that was a publication that came out, about 7 or 8 months ago. And in April, on April 28, 2019, unbeknownst to us, the Allegheny County School System published this article in Community Health, which is game-based learning can boost your health knowledge. And so we're getting clients publishing articles about the effectiveness of what EdLogix is able to do to engage, educate, and change behaviors ultimately. I'm going to quickly pull up because we didn't talk about this during the program, and I don't have time because of the short amount of time we have and the amount of information we want to share with you. But I'm pulling up my platform, and I just kind of pull up how the platform is being used as an educational program and a communication. The unique thing is if we implement this in Hampton Roads, which the way we're planning to, we're going to be able to reach out to people. It's different than a website. So we're pushing this out. We're making it available. People come on, and once they're in, we're able to email them. We're adding text capabilities, but you can see at the top, it's almost real-time communication. Are your kids vaping? And talking about the death of individuals. So when vaping hit the news, we put this article or this little notification. I can click on here to learn more and go through a vaping educational program. We don't have time to do that. I'm going to X out of that. We also have a notification center right here where we're able to notify people of, the superbugs that just came out on the 13th. Dog pig ears have salmonella, so dogs are getting sick and humans are getting sick. Or when the blue-green algae came in, the algae alert. So we have the ability to do almost real-time notifications. I have a grade point average of 3.9. I've accumulated 3.7 million points. Here's a daily health scratch with a drawing that occurs every 2 weeks is what we're recommending in Hampton Roads. I can go in there and play my daily health scratch, or I can go ahead and save it. There's a weekly workout where we're recommending different things, melanoma, leukemia, medications might be dangerous. So topics that people are able to learn about. We also recommend for each individual based upon their age, their gender, their attributes. They may have a sister-in-law that had brain cancer, and this is going to push information out. In my case, I had a sister that passed away of brain cancer, so I wanted to get information about that. And so I'm able to say what I'm interested in, and the platform will send that out. If I know that, if the platform knows that I'm not knowledgeable on how to use Narcan to treat an opioid overdose, it will send me an email with 10,000 points to click on a link to learn how to use Narcan. So it's very intuitive. It's data-driven. We have a daily spin the wheel capability. So it's kind of dopamine. I can come in, I can get free points, or I can double my time and play a game like Fact or Myth. So if I go play Fact or Myth right now, based upon the 2 times my earnings, and so let's go play Fact or Myth. Fact or Myth is a pretty simple game. If a medication for depression doesn't start working in 2 weeks, it won't work at all. I'm a Pharm D, so I know that that is a myth. It takes up to 6 weeks to join. So I got that one correct. I got 300 points. I got a streak of 1. You can only get health coverage during open enrollment periods. I think that's a myth. I got that correct. Another 300 plus a streak bonus of 100. Medicine is all you need to control high blood pressure, obviously diet and exercise. So let's go ahead and say myth. So you get the picture, or you keep going, and then you can have a, I'll get this one wrong to show you what happens, but only hospitals and insurance companies know the cost of medical tests and treatments before you have them. Let's say, got that right. I got that right with myth. Sorry about that. I can't even get it wrong. Chewing ice is bad for your teeth. Let's say that that's a fact. And I'm going to walk away in a minute. Last line, brightly colored foods have more antioxidants than white or light colored. That is a myth. So I'm going to walk away. I can go walk away from this and get the answers to those questions that I may have gotten right or wrong, but medication is all you need to control high blood pressure. Obviously, we know that that's not true, and we can get that information on how to avoid salts and how to exercise and be, mindful of non-drug therapy. And I doubled my points. I got 4,600 because I was playing factor myth. But there's a learning module. There's various learning modules. You can see the chronic conditions, the common medical conditions, well-being, cancer education, how to navigate the healthcare system. We have a whole game page. We have hot topics that are in here. And so here's one, active shooters, what to do, how to survive. We put that in after the Virginia Beach shooting. So this is information that, our questions, there's 8 questions. And once you do this, you'll know what to do in your employment on if they don't have a policy on active shooter. So you can do this where this is all, there's no way to tell where a shooter is going to come. I'll submit it, and it will tell me how everyone in Hampton Roads answered this question, and we're gathering market research on this. So hot topics is a key area. If I'm quickly, I'll just show you one other thing, but a medication video library. Many of us have relatives or ourselves that are on drugs. A common drug for diabetes is metformin. So I can go in here and go to the metformin tablet section. I'm going to throw away the package insert most times, but I can go here and watch a video.
Talk about your medication. This is metformin, and it treats type 2 diabetes.
So you get the picture. I'm gonna X out of this, and I'm gonna move on. But you can see how the platform is invaluable as far as a resource. I showed you about 1% of the platform and its functionality and features, but I encourage anyone that wants to get on to let us know, and we'll give you a access to that platform. So let me go ahead and move forward onto the next slide real quick. We measure learning. So here's our baseline knowledge assessment across the board with all of our clients, and we're measuring this with the university, with Old Dominion University, looking at the students' baseline knowledge. F's on the left in burgundy, D's in orange, and a few greens that represent A's. So you can see what happens after they've been educated on the platform. A significant increase in knowledge, with most of the people typically going from a 65 at baseline to about a 97 across the board for any one of these therapeutic areas. And then we also have very high course satisfaction. 81% of the people say they'll change their behavior based on what they've learned, or that 77% and 75% say that it covered topics that they didn't previously know about or is very informative. So this is a valuable evidence-based program. More importantly, what are the users saying? I've learned so much about my health and how to take care of it. Love the platform. Would rather be on Headlogics than Facebook at night. I really like that. We get testimonials like this coming in every day. This is a town bank testimonial. This person's been on the platform for almost 3 years, Michelle Reingart. But I just highlighted, I've gone to this site many times to check on medical conditions and answer questions for myself and my families. What we want to do is make them more knowledgeable so they're better historians when they interact with their physician. They can interact more knowledgeably, and they can provide more information and be more compliant with their drugs and their treatment regimens, not only for that individual, but an employee that's a caregiver is a major issue. A newly diagnosed daughter with diabetes, or a mom or dad that has Alzheimer's or COPD. is a major burden on that individual. If we can provide resources to help them manage chronic conditions, we can help them become better employees. And this is a good diagram. It's busy. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that, but we're considering ourselves a health management program, a health literacy program that helps people make better lifestyle choices. And I apologize for the feedback, but a healthier person is a better employee with better job performance and better gains for the organization. So the individual benefits by being healthier, more energy, more vitality, a better person in the community. But the organization benefits from a healthier person with reduced healthcare costs, better productivity, less absenteeism, and better presenteeism issues. So the non-medical cost of a unhealthy individual or a person that's preoccupied with trying to manage their family's health is something that we can really make an important contribution to that employee and to the employer and the insurance company. Everyone wins with a more health literate individual. Real quickly on some of these, we talked about the interactive digital platform, some of the community partnerships. Marketing and promotion is going to be key. How are we going to promote this? We're going to promote it primarily through our community partners. And we're doing that through local presentations. I mentioned the Rotary, the church groups, and different community-based organizations. Inside business articles. We'll be working closely with Inside Business to put articles out there where people will understand and know that there's a platform available to them. Virginia Business is doing an article on Town Bank, and there'll be a piece, I believe, on EdLogix, but they want to do a separate piece just on health literacy and what Healthier Hampton Roads is all about. And we'll be building social media campaigns to increase awareness. We mentioned the faith-based organizations, the charitable organizations, the Bruce Thompson's son, Josh Thompson, with ALS, the ALS organization, the JDRF, the Wounded Warriors, the American Heart Association. We're going to be actually having individuals selecting the charitable organization that they would best prefer to play for. And when their points accumulate, these charitable organizations will be competing amongst each other to get access to cash rewards at the end of a quarter. So if JDRF wins, the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation, they might get $5,000, and the ALS Foundation gets $2,500, and the third one might be the Wounded Warriors, or the SPCA. So we're using those organizations to engage them, to help promote us, to increase awareness, and also we can promote on the site the great things that these charitable organizations are doing. A little bit about their mission and when their fun run is and when their galas are. And then we're sponsoring local community events as well. But once this gets up and running, and our plan is to get it out into the community, to get the Healthier Hampton Roads initiative out and launched, and Rewards for Healthy Living being that consumer-facing site. Once it's out there, we'll start gathering information. We'll learn more around operation from an operational support standpoint, really looking at the data and partnering with ODU and EVMS and the Brock Institute and other groups to really look at how the analytics can provide insight into the needs and issues in the community. And then our R&D and continuous quality improvement that we're able to do through this platform is going to be significant. And what our vision is, once we've got it out there and we start improving health literacy, we can start doing advanced applications of this Rewards for Healthy Living. And we can have coordinated regional initiatives around mental health advocacy programs, around substance abuse education. We're doing this up in Anne Arundel County right now, where we're putting this out there, and recovering addicts using our platform to educate them, not only on substance abuse and addiction, but chronic conditions and smoking cessation and those things. But we can actually have regional alignment around opioid education and partnering with what Nancy talked about with the opioid. The Sackler family is putting billions into the communities. We would love to be able to take some of those resources and bring them to Hampton Roads and push information out to those individuals and families that are affected by opioid and substance abuse. We're real excited about building a mental health advocacy program to expand on some of the things that Johnny Lawson's doing in the community. There's a shortage, as we know, of mental health professionals. If we can educate consumers on being better advocates, and then ultimately off our platform being able to launch a 1-800 mental health counselor that's paid for by the philanthropy. If we can get 10,000 people on calls, that's a very good spend from our philanthropic dollars. And then diabetes and heart disease and all the chronic conditions are obviously key areas that need to be addressed in the community. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about the benefits of Hampton Roads, and then let Jim Spoor have a few words and maybe expand on some of these here. But we think that we can definitely improve the health of our citizens by improving health literacy, and which will decrease healthcare costs and have an impact on workforce productivity. I mentioned about the opportunity for regional alignment, getting Suffolk and Norfolk and the Peninsula and Virginia Beach and all the other groups, Portsmouth, all working together. And I think this will stimulate through a center of excellence, or things that are going on at ODU, or things that we're doing to expand and add more people, developers and project managers. There's more emerging opportunities for high-paying jobs. And then the economic prosperity in our region and the ability, and I'll talk in the few closing minutes we have about the plans for national recognition of Hampton Roads. And so, Jim, I'd like to just kind of share the screen with you. And Jim, as everyone knows, is President and CEO of Reinvent Hampton Roads, has been a major proponent of what we're doing, and has been responsible for lots of great things going on in our region. So, Jim, go ahead and feel free to share your wisdom with us. I appreciate it.
Well, I don't know how much wisdom it is, Tom, but I appreciate being on the call with you all. As Tom has described, we're in this system, and it is a system of systems, being the regional economy, and we're trying to understand what can we do to make the economy perform better in the region. And Reinvent, at its core, is about creating additional high-paying jobs and real opportunities for our citizens. And we've developed a model of our own about how we go about doing that. And the conclusion is there isn't one simple silver bullet that's going to get us to the point that we want to have our economy being good for all of our citizens. But it's a combination of a lot of different things, one of which is workforce, the quality of the workforce, the productivity of the workforce, and that's really derivative from the health of the workforce. So we view this project in terms of the Healthier Hampton Roads as just a kind of a triple win. I think if our individuals and our individual workers are going to be more knowledgeable and healthier, they're going to be better employees. So the companies are going to win with that, and then the entire region will win. So we just see it as a great effort, and one that can literally put Hampton Roads on the national map, as Tom has mentioned. So we like the vision, we like the creative tools that have been put together, we like the notion of partnership. Reinvent is all about partnerships, and we really don't have the authority to make anybody do anything. So we're looking at this coalition of partners to really make a difference in the health of this region. And eventually, if we can do this over time, I think Hampton Roads will be, in fact, known as a healthy region and a good place for corporations to come, a good place for workers to find high-paying jobs. So I kind of, in a nutshell, just wanted to outline that systems view of why this is so important, and how, at least from my perspective, it's kind of a triple win-win situation that individuals, companies, and the region will benefit from. So we're happy to be one of the partners in this project.
Yeah, we appreciate your comments on that and the support that you've been able to provide. I do have a slide that I grabbed from your presentation on June 21st, and if you want to just comment and just reiterate, this was a slide that you put together, but it's a three-part building slide, but I think you nailed it, really.
Yeah, I think I've covered the concept that we believe in, and we're focusing on quality of life, and we're focusing on what that can mean for economic development and individual prosperity. And so, we've got to figure out a way to become a healthier region. A lot of the data I've seen, Hampton Roads, unfortunately, is not in reality, and it's not perceived as a healthy region. We have very high incidence of high blood pressure, chronic diseases such as diabetes, heart conditions, and so on. So we've got some work to do, and that's why we're pretty excited about this project.
Excellent. Yeah, and as you said, it's a classic win-win for all of us if we can pull off the objectives that we're shooting to do, and I'm very confident that we will. We talked a little bit. I appreciate your comments, Jim. Just kind of wrapping up in the next few minutes, talking about what our overall objectives is to build a national health literacy model that we can take, and we're doing this in Hampton Roads, and as many of you know, we're also doing this in Nashville. So these are the two cities that we're focused on, and we want to build a playbook of how do you actually create a healthier community. Everyone's trying to figure it out, but I believe it starts with health literacy. You need to have an educated community to really change the health of that community. And so we think that we can create a national model working with insurance companies and healthcare systems and individuals that are making a difference, and then take this public relations and media strategy that we're doing in Hampton Roads and bring it national. So national presentations that I and my team is going to be doing around the country. We're submitting a Washington Post op-ed by Dr. Cynthia Burrell on infant mortality and chronic conditions, particularly in the African American population. And it's an article that Washington Post asked us to write, and how healthier Hampton Roads can make a difference. We're talking with Forbes about doing a spotlight on what we're doing in Hampton Roads. We'll be doing national social media. We're going to be doing a quarterly webinar on the launch of Healthier Hampton Roads, and then sharing data and sharing success stories, and talking about all the great things that we're doing, not just Healthier Hampton Roads, but what's going on with the pipeline that we brought in from Europe, the high-speed cable, and have someone talk about the digital connectivity of both businesses and consumers, and talk about the workforce council and things that we're doing in Hampton Roads above and beyond just what our initiative is. But we'll talk to the rest of the nation. They'll be following Healthier Hampton Roads. And then in October, which is Health Literacy Month, we're building we're going to be launching a webinar which is going to be entitled Healthier Hampton Roads, Bridging the Gap Between Health Literacy and Economic Prosperity. And this is going to be a national webinar. We'll have hundreds of people from around the country, because it's such a hot topic, is how do you build healthy communities, and the role of health literacy is absolutely critical, and it's very much tied to economic prosperity, as we talked. The funding sources, obviously, we're out there, and you can tell from the progress we've made, we're doing this unfunded. A little bit of funding is coming from Old Dominion University and us to get this thing launched, but we're hoping to get corporations and foundations and other national associations, Robert Woods Johnson and KPMG and JP Morgan. Some of the local corporations have social responsibility. Philanthropists, we have great philanthropists in the Hampton Roads region, and we're having some great discussions with some of them. But we don't want to go and just ask for money. We want to show progress and show that we're actually making a difference, and we need money and resources to actually pull it through, not to start the vision. And that's a different request. So we felt that we needed to show movement and get people excited so we can reach for them. But I think there's state and federal support. The HUD grants talks about health literacy in those 2 HUD grants that we got here. Medicaid expansion, we're having discussions with them as well. That's a huge opportunity to educate the Medicaid recipients and save them a lot of money as they're expanding Medicaid. Dr. Scott Massey, who talked to the group, is working closely with us in the Hampton Roads and in the Nashville markets. He's talking to corporations down there. He's a 501c3 that we have a partnership with us, and Scott's going to be working closely with us for us to work with the philanthropists and the foundations to bring in not-for-profit money from organizations for tax advantages. And we think that we're going to be, based on the feedback and the interest thus far, that we'll be very successful raising philanthropic money and corporate donors. So I'd encourage everyone, if you have ideas or relationships on helping us to get this funded, this is going to be a win-win for everyone. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping up. We're right around the top of the hour. We've got a lot of information that was shared, but I'll just kind of wrap up with one last slide that was talked about during the actual forum on June 21st. But the key attributes for a successful community-based model, it starts with broad engagement from all the stakeholders. We talked about a number of the stakeholders, the communities, the corporations, the economic development groups, and having multi-pronged approaches to changing behavior over several years. And then the importance of incentives, what's in it for them. We have a significant budget going toward the incentives to get people on the platform, to get their family members in, to get their parents, their kids, to get this into the school systems, and having challenges among classrooms and giving them a credit hour for doing that. We've talked about that with some of the private schools, and we want to use that as a model to get to those kids in the public schools. And we are, creating a movement with social media and having clear, specific goals, and our platform can measure progress against those goals. That's what's unique about EdLogic's platform, is that we track everything, and we look at outcomes, and we look at changes in behavior and improvement in knowledge. And then we're getting local government support, universities, community-based organizations. And then ultimately, we need the adequate funding. And I think there's plenty of funding out there. There's more money in communities than there are good programs to use it. And I think we're going to demonstrate that this is a great Healthier Hampton Roads and Rewards for Healthy Living is a place where people and organizations and foundations would want to invest in, because everyone wins. The economic development, the image, and the economic prosperity, but most important, all the citizens in Hampton Roads have a better chance of improving their health outcomes, preventing diseases, and really focusing on health before they need to go to into the health system. So prevention, wellness, but if they have diseases, how do they better improve those outcomes? But those are some of the key attributes of a successful model. And with that, we are right on the top of the hour. It's 1 o'clock. I'm going to encourage people, if we'll look at the chats, we'll put answers to those chat questions. And rather than take any extra time, I'm going to start wrapping up by thanking Jim Spohr and Nancy Gurdon and Amanda Jackson and Stephanie Gorham for their contributions to the success and the education that we've provided today. We'll be making a recording of this and sending that out to everyone. And I encourage you, if you have an interest in getting on the platform and playing around with it and seeing how powerful it is, feel free to give us an email and we'll get you out. We'll get that invitation out. So again, thank you so much for joining us today. We know you got a lot of busy things going on, and we appreciate you taking time for your busy schedules. Hope everyone has a great day. Thank you.